Hi, let's look at Cosmos, ticker symbol ATOM, ATOM, currently at $26.54, market rank number 30 with a market cap of approximately 6 billion. We will not only look at Cosmos in US dollars or in Bitcoin, we will also make the comparison to Ethereum and to a cryptocurrency that's pretty similar in its approach, in its technology, namely ThorChain with ticker symbol RUNE, R-U-N-E. So both of those cryptos, they're trying to solve the interoperability problem between blockchains. So the issue right now that you have when you go to, for example, Uniswap is that you can't simply swap Ethereum for Bitcoin or Bitcoin for Solana. You need to wrap the crypto asset to make it usable within one blockchain. So that's why you've got something like wrapped Bitcoin. So you can still emulate trading Bitcoin for Ethereum on a decentralized exchange, but there's nothing like a central hub where you could simply swap crypto assets between different blockchains and do this in a decentralized way without having a Binance or a Coinbase like a third party in the middle. And so Cosmos is trying to solve this. ThorChain is trying to solve this as well, but we won't dive too much into the fundamentals. We will instead look at the charts as usual on this channel. So this is the US dollar chart. This is CosmosAtom in Bitcoin. Here we've got the Ethereum chart, and this is now the ThorChain chart in US dollars. And so what we're going to do is we divide the CosmosAtom price by the ThorChain price to get relative performance. How is CosmosAtom, comparatively speaking, performing to ThorChain? So we divide the Cosmos price by the ThorChain price. Or in other words, how many ThorChain tokens does it need to buy one CosmosAtom token? Last but not least, we've also got a chart on ThorChain in Ethereum, simply because I like to look at the altcoin charts in Ethereum. Ethereum is the least risky of the altcoins. So when you buy something with lower market cap, you should expect outperformance. And so that's why we look at outperformance versus Ethereum. Now, CosmosAtom had quite a run, right? Since the 20th of July, all altcoins are pumping. Cosmos went up by around 180%. And since everything was going up, ThorChain as well, right? When we look at the 20th of July, we are looking at a performance of 207%. Everything went up during this period. So it does make sense to look at relative performance. Cosmos has been able to outperform Bitcoin by 60% during that rally. For the outperformance versus Ethereum, it's a bit more of a mixed bag. So since the 20th of July, when we got this recent rally, we first got an underperformance versus Ethereum of like 18%. Now recently we got the rally, and so we do outperform, but it's not as constant, right? So you could almost argue that this is just random volatility. There's no constant outperformance here of CosmosAtom versus Ethereum. Now let's also look at the outperformance since beginning of the year, because when we see here the Bitcoin dominance, we see that it's going down since the beginning of the year, right? We were at around 72% on the 1st of January, and then Bitcoin dominance fell all the way to currently 41%. And so Bitcoin as a fraction of overall crypto is going down. Bitcoin is becoming less important, relatively speaking. And all that means is that we got an altcoin ready over here. If we look at Bitcoin since the beginning of the year, we are going more or less sideways, right? We started the year at 33K, and you could argue that we are in somewhat of a trading range here, bouncing up and down. And I'm not saying that this trading range has to stay intact and that we're going to bounce off again the 60K. But what I am saying is that Bitcoin is not like shooting up consistently anymore. So we definitely did lose some steam. And so what happened since the beginning of the year is that a lot of investors, they went into altcoins. They shifted their investment from the expensive Bitcoin to the assets with less market cap that have potentially more gains in a bull market. And so the risk appetite is increasing, right? People don't just bet on Bitcoin anymore. If you now DCA into Bitcoin, if you buy, say, $1,000 every month for Bitcoin, you get like 2% of a Bitcoin. You do this 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You still don't own a whole Bitcoin, and that seems to be quite tough psychologically speaking. And so retail is shifting away from Bitcoin because simply of its price, because of this mental barrier of not being able to accumulate enough. And instead, retail is going to the altcoins since the beginning of the year. And so if you look at CosmosAtom's outperformance versus Bitcoin since beginning of the year, we are looking at 127%, which is okay. Versus Ethereum though, the story is not as pretty, right? 23% underperformance versus Ethereum since this whole altcoin rally started, since Bitcoin dominance fell so much. That's not what you potentially want, because Cosmos's market dominance is pretty low, right? We're looking at 0.25%. Ethereum has something like 20%. So Ethereum is almost 100 times larger than CosmosAtom in terms of market cap. And so simply because of that, CosmosAtom is way more risky, right? You take on more risk, and when you take on more risk, you want to get compensated for that risk, at least when times are positive, at least when money is shifting to the altcoins. When there's an altcoin rally and you've got a small altcoin, you want this to outperform. But unfortunately, with CosmosAtom, since the beginning of the year, we did not outperform Ethereum. And if we zoom out a little bit more, we can almost say that this seems to be some kind of trend. It's not a very clean trend, obviously, but it doesn't look like we found a real floor here. It doesn't look like we have broken the negative momentum. There's a lot of volatility here going on, but still, you really want outperformance when you take on that much more risk. Why not simply buy Ethereum or Solana or Cardano that are that much bigger and that perform that much better? The only reason why you would do this is when you really believe in the fundamentals of CosmosAtom, when you really believe in the idea that the decentralized exchange of CosmosAtom, or of ThorChain for that matter, is going to win over the market versus Uniswap, versus 1inch, maybe versus PancakeSwap, simply because of this interoperability feature. But then what I did, I'm not going to get too much into the fundamentals, right? But I just looked up the current state of the DEX of CosmosAtom. And so what I found is this Emrys exchange over here. If there's something that's better, that has more progress than this exchange here for CosmosAtom, please let me know in the comments. This is what I found with a very quick search. And simply when we look at this is still in beta. We don't see too many assets yet that we can swap with, right? And that's a problem. There's not going to be a lot of adoption happening from only swapping those kind of coins here. You really need this interoperability feature to work to get any kind of real usage. And this here obviously doesn't cut it yet, right? There's no way that people are gonna switch from Uniswap to this for those kind of coins here. Also, you can't just simply use MetaMask over here. If you want to connect a wallet, you have to install another extension. Fair enough if the application is good enough. But so far, at least for this, for Emrys, I don't see yet that we are far beyond a proof of concept. Now, maybe there's other decentralized exchanges, or maybe the other cryptocurrencies, they are going to be launched very soon. I haven't dug deeper into that. If you know more about this, please let me know. But this is so far what I could find, and it did not convince me yet. And so given this picture, combined with this chart, I personally think the risk for CosmosAtom right now is too high. Now still, let's compare this to ThorChain. This is the ThorChain chart in US dollars. Let's look at it in Ethereum. Since the 20th of July, we went up versus Ethereum by around 38%. And since the beginning of the year, when the altcoin rally started, we did outperform by around 57%. So this is good. The issue here a little bit is that the outperformance comes with a lot of volatility, right? And it also comes with increased trading volume, which is not necessarily a good thing because you need more money to move the market. But still, overall, this is positive. Now, if you compare CosmosAtom to ThorChain, so we divide the CosmosAtom price by the ThorChain price, we again see a pretty drastic underperformance, 66%. And so the only way to really bet against this again is if you have fundamental conviction. The charts themselves, they don't look that pretty for CosmosAtom. And so if I were to pick between the two, Cosmos is way larger than ThorChain. Cosmos is underperforming ThorChain, at least right now. If I had to pick only one of them, I think ThorChain is probably the better pick. You take on more risk, but at least you get the risk compensated somewhat. Another point is obviously that CosmosAtom is pretty high at its all-time high. So we know that these kind of levels, they can be a problem. We see this all the time. For example, with Cardano, we hovered around the $1 mark for quite a while. Now we're hovering around the $3 mark. So it doesn't mean that these kind of levels, they can't be broken, but it does mean that it can hinder the growth in the short term, right? Let's look at ADA. We were in this trading range here for quite a while, and we had these resistances. We also had the support. And so when the altcoin rally started, again, since the 20th of July, we were then able to break the resistance. But now the new resistance is around $3. So the overall market, it has to support another rally. Otherwise, it's hard to break these kind of levels. And so I'm not saying that CosmosAtom can't move up from here, right? Correlations between crypto assets, they are high. And if Ethereum now goes to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, CosmosAtom is not going to stay at this price, right? It will go up in US dollars as well. At least that's very, very likely. But the question for me is always, what's the risk versus reward? What kind of risk do you take on for the reward given? And so when you take on much more risk, when Ethereum is almost 100 times larger and you still underperform versus Ethereum, then why not simply buy Ethereum? You get less risk, you get more reward, and that's at least what the charts here say. But obviously, technical analysis is incomplete. It's just one part of the picture. It's best to always combine both technical and fundamental analysis, and one of them can trump the other. I'm not saying that this is the perfect way to predict prices. I'm obviously wrong all the time as well. I'm just trying to give another perspective, a perspective that you might not have considered before, right? You probably never saw the CosmosAtom price divided by the ThorChain price. So those kind of tools and comparisons, they might help you with your decision making. But in the end, crypto is still a game of doing your own research. I make as many mistakes as everyone else. So take those fancy lines, those fancy charts for what it is. It's just lines on the screen. Supply versus demand makes the price. And if we do see a decentralized exchange that's crushing everything, that solves interoperability, that has low fees, low slippage, quick transaction fees, that can beat Uniswap, beat PancakeSwap, beat SushiSwap. If we find something like this on CosmosAtom, I am all for CosmosAtom. Right now though, for me personally, what I currently see, at least with my semi-informed fundamental knowledge about the project, this looks a little bit too risky for me. I'm standing on the sidelines for CosmosAtom. If you enjoyed this video, please give this a like. YouTube will then help to grow the channel. And if you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. I publish a video every single day. Last but not least, we've got a Telegram channel. We are now more than 500 people. It's completely spam free. We enjoy discussing crypto over there. We discuss altcoins over there. Would be great to see you join our community as well. You can find us either by clicking the link in the video description or simply by searching for Bitcoin Strategy Channel within the Telegram app. See you next time. Bye bye.